Guys, another story for you. This is our read aloud story. It's called A View from the Moon. This is informational text about space. And the pictures you're seeing are real photographs, they're not illustrations. All around our planet, people can look up at the sky and see the moon. This glowing ball has always been mysterious, but in 1969, 2 astronauts traveled far into space and walked on the moon. This helped us solve some of the moon's mysteries. Here on Earth, we see the moon at night and sometimes during the day. It can look like a round ball, half a circle, or a thin slice. It's hard to tell how big the moon really is. That's because the distance between Earth and the moon is so great. The moon looks smaller than a cloud because clouds are closer to us than the moon. And the moon looks bigger than a star because the stars are much farther away. What is it like up there on the moon? People asked. The only way to answer this question was to build a spaceship, land it on the moon, and then travel back to Earth. The mission that did this was called Apollo 2. The lucky astronauts were Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. The astronauts flew 2 different spaceships to the moon. The main ship, named Columbia, took them to just above the moon and then back to Earth. The actual moon lander was named Eagle. The astronauts trained very hard. They studied every part of the ships to prepare for the strange world of space. They also got used to their heavy spacesuits. These suits would protect them from very cold and very hot temperatures on the moon. After liftoff on July 16, 1969, it took the astronauts 3 days to get to the moon. Living on a spaceship was a challenge. There was very little room to move around. The astronauts ate special dried or liquid food. They had to make sure all the tools and instruments were working properly, but it would all be worth it. On July 20th, the Eagle landed on the surface of the moon. Neil Armstrong had the honor of taking the first step. Then the astronauts explored the amazing new land. The astronauts collected moon rocks, took pictures, and planted an American flag, which means they stuck it in the ground. They also practiced walking in their spacesuits. Walking on the moon is fun because people weigh less there. When you jump up, it takes a while to come back down. The surface of the moon is covered in a powdery dust. Like the planet Earth, the moon has different land features. It has mountains, flat parts, and even fields of hot bubbling liquid called lava. Eagle landed in a smooth area called the Sea of Tranquility. But even the moon's smooth areas have lots of rocky holes called craters. The moon is not nearly as colorful as planet Earth. From close up, astronauts on the moon only see gray colors. There's no water there. Seas on the moon are not real seas that have water and waves, and there's absolutely no wind. If you go to the moon today, you'll still see the footprints of every astronaut who has ever walked there. We are all used to seeing Earth from up close, right under our feet. But what does Earth look like from far away? Neil, Buzz, and Michael got to do something very special. They got to see planet Earth from way out in space. On the surface of the moon, it's very dark. There's no blue sky. The colorful stars shine even brighter. The moon under your feet looks big, and the Earth looks very small. Earth is called the blue planet because most of it is covered in ocean. From space, it's easy to see the blue color on Earth. If you look closer at Earth, you recognize the brown shapes of the Earth's lands. Rainforests are bright green, and deserts are yellow. White clouds swirl above the land. Looking at Earth from the moon, Earth looks too small to stand on. you have to remind yourself of all the people who live down there. We've answered many questions about the moon, but there's still a lot to learn. The moon is a fascinating place we can hope to return to someday.